We had a race earlier at Lime Rock in the season for the SRF Weekend Warriors, but now we head to Tsukuba, an even smaller track than that. But the field sizes definitely have not gone down. They've maintained pretty much the same at 50 plus cars strong for this series and this group of drivers. My name is Finny Kuna here with Liam Sheen for the next round of the SRF Weekend Warriors season. We've been to quite a few tracks, but again, just being a very small and very tight racetrack should lead to some interesting racing, Liam.
Yeah, this track is really technical with how you have to take that last corner. I just find it really really interesting with how these cars are going to go through, especially with this huge field of 52, 53 cars.
We are going to
it's going to be really really interesting to see how these guys tackle this course.
Yeah, absolutely, really will be. And if you're wondering where are all the cars on the track, well, that's because for this event in particular, and in contrast to the rest of the season, they've gone to single car qualifying here, which is, I think, is definitely a good idea for having these guys going around here. So currently looking at some of the few drivers still left on the track. Most of the drivers have put down a qualifying time. Bring up the ticker here with just a minute left in qualifying, but Rafael Berbegal, Mauricio Nacello, Mitch Weatherly, Felix Simoes, Rodrigo Duran, your top five at the moment. Names we've been seeing at the front of the field for most of the season so far, as qualifying is beginning to wrap up. But Liam, as we go into this race, what do you think really for these drivers? What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge around this track?
I think the biggest challenge is going to be obviously that where the first and last corners are going to be really difficult for these guys to you know, funnel themselves down into, especially with how tight that first turn is. It's going to be really challenging to see how everyone's going to try to work their way through. Obviously, we're not running the chicane here, but
thankfully,
if they were running that, that would have been probably easily the hardest part. But I would say the first corner on the first lap is going to be obviously the trouble spot with how everyone's going to funnel themselves through.
Looking at Gorka Atura in the 41 machine, he's kind of flying around the track, but not going to be able to finish what he's doing because qualifying is now complete. And we're going to get ready here for gridding for this race, and it's, again, very big grid. We're going to be going through only really the top 20 drivers here. I'm trying to actually find where on earth these guys are on the track. I know we got a very short pace lap. This is going to be interesting. But I'll go through your starting lineup here. So starting on the front row is going to be Rafael Berbegal in the 23 machine. Next to him, Mauricio Nacelli going to start in second in the 44 machine. Mitch Weatherly going to be lining up in behind in third in the 4 car. And next to him, Felix Simoes in the 31 in fourth place. In fifth, Rodrigo Duran going to line up in the 10 car. Next to him, Austin Winter in the 033 is going to line up in sixth. Moving on to seventh, Emil Orza going to be lining up in the 99. And to complete row 4, Florence Arabian in eighth. In ninth, Gorka Turret's going to line up on the inside of the 41. And then in 10th, the 119 is Samuel Dick, rounding out your first 5 rows.
Well, in 11th, you have Wanshi Lin in that number 30 car. And to his outside, it's going to be Jurnej Zorik. I hope I pronounced that correctly. 13th will be Gary McGarry and Greg
Stefani.
I'm new here, so I don't know all these names. But you also have Jeff Fritscher in 15th, Jean Pereira in 16th. You have Adrian Jimenez Vargas in 17th, and Steve Ray in 18th. Josh Arnold in 19th, and Hugh Haycox in 20th.
Yeah, and we'll let the rest of that roll across the bottom of your screen. I don't actually know how much longer we're going to be able to have to let that roll across the bottom of the screen because you guys are about to roll off in just a few seconds. But if it does also make you feel any better, we did a lot worse when we were trying to go through all these names originally, so you did completely fine. I am definitely probably the worst when it comes to doing new names, but here as we line up for this grid, trying to see how far this stretches back. You can see pretty much from the back there how many rows of cars, 20 plus rows here still going on through, as just now timer ticks to 0 for the gridding process. We're going to have these guys roll off here in just a few seconds. Take the grid here away for just a second. We'll go through another row of drivers. Ed Doherty and Adam Bradshaw in 33rd and 34th. I'll quickly go through your weather here. Track tempo 133 for these drivers. Going to be pretty slick out there, if I do say so myself, as they round out of the final corner. Going to be waiting here shortly for the green flag, and already on the gas. Here we go. Green flag in the air here at Tsukuba.
Yeah, it took no time for them to just jump on the gas, and we're going to see how they funnel into turn 1. Obviously, the trouble spot. We're going to see if there's any contact through the field. Looks like so far, so good.
Mauricio Nacelli
around.
Around he goes. Yeah, but back into 8th place, and again, for a really solid driver leading the points at the moment, back in 8th place, we should expect him to get in the front. Although that damage at the front not looking particularly good for Naselli, but with that damage and with that incident really in turn 1, it's going to be Mitch Weatherly that leads the field down the first few turns. Rodrigo Duran, Rafael Berbergal, your top 3.
Yeah, a few cars off the track. Steve Ray and Jean Pereira have gone off, but they keep it going. Antonio Reis looks like I had an incident. Not sure where that was, but we're going to keep it going. And as everyone funnels himself onto the long back straightaway, we're going to see how these guys can slow themselves down to make this corner. As he's going to go for the pass over here. And this is a really troubling spot because those cars obviously can wash up a little bit, but everyone's going to get through clean as not sure Rodrigo Duran is going to be your leader.
Yeah, Rodrigo Duran in the 10, he's going to be your leader with Rafael Berbergal and Mitch Weatherly, your top 3 still. These guys are just exchanging between themselves, and I imagine that backstretch is going to be a very solid passing opportunity for these drivers here heading down to the hairpin. But you can see very tight are our first few dozen or drivers or so heading down. Looking back at where Mauricio Naselli is still back in 8th, has not been able to make forward progress. And if you're in the cellar right now, you have a damaged car, what do? You know you have some really solid pace, obviously, starting up in the front, but do you push now, or do you just kind of ride in line?
I would ride right now, let everyone else make their mistakes, but obviously he's not really taking that route. He seems like he just drove it in there, but I don't think he's going to go for it right now. I think he's just going to be a little patient, let the race come to him.
We'll see if that damage is going to be holding him up here. As fall a little bit behind Gorka Turret, who's currently sitting in 7th place. We saw him earlier in qualifying, was out there putting laps, but so far a small little breakaway between them. Looking on through the rest of the field, any other notes, especially looking for our Spec 2 leader at the moment. That's currently Greg Stefani, our current points leader in that category as well, doing well for himself. Starting 14th up into 14th as well. And can we definitely expect passing to be pretty hard around here? Or do you think it might be easier with that backstretch?
I think these cars, that's pretty much the only passing opportunity, because these cars are just low enough on power where either the guy in front of you has to make a mistake or you can get that draft off the other car and try to go for the dive bomb. But yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult for them to make some passes.
Very good to run. Rafael Berbergal teammates up in front. Also new paint scheme we're noticing on those cars this week as well. Doing those paint scheme justice, being out there on the front ahead of everyone else. So far, single file for the most part. I saw Adrian Vargas in the back. He was duking out for position a little bit earlier, up from 17th to 15th. Trying to move his way on forward. Trying to check on some other drivers through the field. Look at everyone running, if I'm not mistaken. Although after you're seeing a few incidents on the opening laps, which is to be expected. But again, what I'm really interested in looking at, especially here if we can get to a shot from up above. You already see the field's pretty much spread out throughout half a lap, and we're only 4 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, and this really illustrates how tight the field is mid-pack. You can see the stragglers towards the back, just running around trying to keep up, but really shows and illustrates how tight this competition is from around, I want to say, like 8th to probably 25th.
And speaking of that, in that position, or sorry, at least 26th, I'm here, started 26 up into 20th. A notable contender trying to fight for it, that Spec 2 category championship. Had some bad luck in recent weeks, trying to chase down Greg Stefani up in 14th as a second or third running Spec 2 driver. Ahead of him is Kenneth Batley, the 222, another Spec 2 driver. And again, a refresher for those of you who are new to this series, Spec 1 is pretty much everyone else in the field with a number under 200. Everyone with a number over 200 are drivers in that Spec 2 category, which again is being led by Greg Stefani in the 750 car. And drivers in the Spec 2 category will have iRatings less than 3,000, but guys in Spec 1, which again consists of most of the field, are over 3,000, which is really a really high bar to clear, I might add.
Yeah, obviously road iRating is really hard to gain up unless you farm SimLab or something like that. But obviously way more difficult to farm up some road iRating. In contrast to Oval, as we got a few incidents, Austin Winter has crashed.
Oh yeah, and I see falling down the order. I'm trying to see where he is. There he is, and you can see a damaged car. Actually, just keep in on this battle here as the field's been stacked up. You see Yerny Zortz and Florence Arabian trying to fight for position. He's gone out wide, and now side by side with Greg Stefani, who we were talking about earlier. Vargas in behind as well into the hairpin.
Yeah, a few other cars involved in that. Gorka, I have no idea how to pronounce that name,
turret.
but yeah, a turret. Also went off. So is Foreign's Arabian. I'm absolutely butchering these names, but those two also went off. But everyone else got by. Oh, a big incident here. 42 gets by it.
Yeah, trying to see. I'm trying to find where is Winner here so I can get a view of him. There's so many cars down the order, I can't quite find where he's running at the moment. Oh, there he is, currently running in 10th. There we go. We'll get a better view of that incident.
Oh,
Find a little bit more. This is heading down into the middle part of the track. I just got loose on the brakes and just the car lazily went around. Is that off throttle oversteer we talk about, which is very big for these cars?
yeah, it just looked like he just overcooked that corner and maybe grabbed a little bit of rumble strip and it just upset the car and just came around on him.
Yeah, actually still doing pretty well at the moment. Starting in 6th, is only back into 12th. Again, does have the damage to the machine. Oh, as in behind, Hugh Haycock gets thrown off the track. And he's going to have to try to back it up. You see him dropping down the order. Was running up and around 15th, is back in 32nd.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to get spun around in. You can't really back it up back onto the track. You have to just go up and around and wait for everyone to come by. But yeah, it looks like the guy behind him overcooked it and just, yeah, nowhere to go. The 750 just came into the corner, committed, and man, just got spun out.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem when you have guys running so close together in such close proximity. You end up having those incidents. So again, Gorka turret back to 32nd place. I'll see if anything happens to the 750. I think they've been pretty tongue-in-cheek with stuff like that this season. We'll see if anything happens to Stefan as he's trying to work on a turret. You can see a stack up as well as these guys go through one of the hairpins.
Yeah, the amount of spatial awareness these guys have to make sure they don't run over each other, or, collide with anyone is really impressive with how they're able to put their car in tight spaces.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially this is definitely a far contrast from the normal SRF series guys. Really talented, and Lime Rock they managed to have, I think by the end of the race, still have at least 40 guys running in the race. It was pretty amazing seeing them able to navigate a tight track like that. This is very similar as far as the way this track races to Lime Rock. So I expect these guys to do pretty well here so far. In the front, it's been pretty clean and green, except for a minor instance up at the front. During the beginning of the race down in turn 1, but Rodrigo Duran, Rafael Berbigal actually extending their lead. They've actually broken away from the draft from Felix Samoy's in behind.
Yeah, this really shows that these two teammates are pretty much the class of the field, but the 31 isn't really letting him break away too much. I mean, he's right in their trail. He can obviously get up there if he can just get some good laps down, and he'll be right back up in the mix.
Yeah, I just want to take a look at the lap times between drivers. Looking at Felix Samoy's, he actually ran a little bit slower than Berbigal last time through, just a little bit over a tenth slower. I'm curious to see when they come on by the line next time by how much their lap time has improved. But for the most part, not a whole lot of action going on the field. Everyone kind of stuck in a traffic jam, very large traffic jam as it would be as they head down the back straightaway.
Yeah, those two up front are probably just working together, trying to make sure they can break away from these two without having the fear of the other two drafting up to them while they battle. So they're just probably trying to get themselves a nice distance before they decide to battle it out.
Yeah, and you're saying Samoy's not letting the leaders out, getting away from him. And made up some time that time through, kind of broke even between the last two laps. We'll see if he can get his head down and drive back up. Mitch Weatherly also, I haven't mentioned him a whole lot since the start. Started in third up into fourth. He's been having some really good runs as of late in this series. Ran really well last week at Mid-Ohio. Is going to continue that in that 4 machine. Mauricio Nacelle, you haven't also touched on since the start of the race. The damage to that machine. He's climbed back up into 5th. And he could still be very much in this. We do have a pit stop coming up, and we've seen either drivers gain a lot or lose a lot when it comes down to pit road.
It's actually very impressive that he's able to hang on with that much damage on the car. I mean, I saw that guy who was involved in that incident earlier, the 750, I believe. Oh, Bobby West just crashed. So is Dominique.
Dominique Perreault.
Yeah. And, yeah, those two went around. Also, Johan I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm just actually don't know that name.
Yeah, but it looks like he just looped it there and just victim of nowhere to go. He just boxed in.
One last look at it here, heading down to the hairpin, and tap from the 94 in behind, and around he went the Doherty that ended up hitting him. And actually, Bobby West down at pit road as well as a few others. See Steve Ray, notably one that comes in a bit early, and these guys can pit just about 10 minutes in, which is what we're seeing here, and have just about 30 minutes of gas in their tanks. So we'll see how far some of the guys in front maybe might stretch their tanks.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the case with these cars. Obviously, I'm not really too familiar with them, but I know with cars like the Skippy, they get quicker the more fuel you burn. So maybe they're going to try to extend their lead a little bit more while those guys have more fuel in the tank to burn before they can put down some quick laps. And maybe that's just the case here. They're just trying to extend it and maybe extend their lead a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what we've kind of seen. Some of the faster guys in front typically like to run the tank out, or and it somewhat seems to help them. It's not it's not a major factor, I would say, but I definitely think it helps a little bit. Although you do have to worry with the car getting lighter, the handling, dealing with that. Gorka Tsura into the pits for the 41 machine. Did he get any more damage, or is that just what he got from the start?
It looked like he had damage, and then it just popped right out. So I'm not sure if there's a fast repair or what, but he's going to take whatever that was and
there is a fast repair, so he's going to take that, get back out there. That's definitely going to keep a lot of the guys in the race. Speaking of which, you see right behind Austin Winter, after his earlier incident, he came into pit road, so he's good to go till the end. He's popped back out just in behind a turret in 34th place.
Yeah, just looking around at some of these cars, Bob Kern also hitting pit road right now. Looks like he actually left it and came back in, so pretty interesting there. But overall, everyone's starting to string themselves out. Looks like about a top four breakaway, and then it's a whole nother second back to Maselli.
Yeah, and then he's actually kind of broken away from that pack as it is. It's a lot of cars bunched up in behind. Wan Chi Lin, Gary McAreevy, Samuel Dick, Yerny Zoritz, and Adrian Vargas here. You're all seeing in that pack, and also just a tail end Florence Arabian. All from 6th to 11th place. They're kind of in their own battle. Oh, up ahead.
Bob Kern.
And he just came out of pit road. Might have been cold tires?
Yeah, he just looks like he was having some trouble trying to hang on to that car. He actually made 2 stops down pit road. Not sure what happened here. Maybe he just got overconfident and just, overcooked it.
Yeah, I guess, looked like some off-throttle oversteer there for the car, by the way. And back end looped around. We've seen quite a few guys in the hairpins. Whoa, as you see another incident also. That's the 308. I'm trying to actually see who that is. I don't know who that car is.
Ian Gibson?
No.
Or was it Ernie Buckles? I just had those 2 names pop up.
Yeah, no, whoa. Buckles, though, has a major problem. He's crabbing down the back straightaway. He's weaving that thing, trying to keep it under control. I want to see what happened to him. This is, he was running this, you can see the car going pretty much fine. And into the hairpin he went, cooked it a bit too hard, and around he went.
And then...
Oh, that was our leaders.
Oh.
That was, I think, trying to see who that was. Not Berbigal, it was Duran. But I think it's coming to the pits.
Duran. That is not what you want to see. And obviously not what you want to do as a slower car just trying to get their track position back. Oh, close call for the 23 there.
Yeah, he's able to go on by, but he's lost his teammate and he's lost some defense. You can see Felix Samoy's all over the back of that 23 machine, and now you're going to have ourselves a little bit of a battle for the lead.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The 31, oh, he's going to throw the block. 31's going to try to take it up the outside here, maybe get the run off this corner here. Oh, he's going to hold him tight, pinch him down, and he's going to come around the corner, and he's actually going to get the run off the corner, and he'll have the preferred line going into this corner right here.
Yeah, now into the first hairpin on the track, deep on the brakes for the 31, gonna clear. Oh, but a bit of a bump as Berbigal was trying to do the switchback on him, wasn't able to get it done. That brought Weatherly, and look at that, Nuselli back in the fight.
Yeah, these 2 teammates, their race has just come crumbling down with that 1 lap car, just causing that incident there, and that's just throws out their whole strategy. As looks like Simoes is gonna be able to check out and drive away a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where on earth... Oh, there, I finally found Rodrigo Duran. All the way back in 30th. He has come in to make his pit stop, so he is good from here to the end of the race. And so we'll see if... yeah, I imagine he might be hurting a little bit, although that only happened on the straightaway, and he immediately came into the pit, so we'll see how far that affects him on pace if he can kind of just get his head down and race while these guys are worried about each other battling for position. As Samoy's in the lead, then you got the 23, 4, and the 44. Your top 4 in position. Also want to check back at, oh, this is a cluster of cars. Macarabi, Vargas, Lynn, Zoritz, and Arabian all still in a pack together fighting it out. And there you see Zoritz actually slowing down. I think might have gotten a penalty.
Yeah, probably just a slowdown penalty. I don't see any damage on that car that would be able to cause that, so he'll just get it back going, as these two are going to have a little bit of a battle here, this 67 and 65.
Vargas trying to find a way on by here as he's jogging the back of the 67 down into the back hairpin. It leads to the back straightaway. Gonna just neatly tuck in behind the 67. You can imagine also how important the run is off this corner. Not quite able to do anything with it here down the straightaway.
It looks like Jeff Richards also crashed. A little bit of an incident there. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like a self-spin, so nothing big. Yeah, but look at what happened here, and looks like he just clipped the curb and looped it around, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised we actually haven't seen more of those types of incidents. But these guys keeping it pretty clean, other than some small on-track incidents, which again you can't expect considering how tight the track is. Also a little bit of an update of how this field is spread out. They're pretty much all over the place at this point. Looking down, checking in on our leaders yet again. It's still Samoy's, Berbagal, Weatherly, and Naselli. Your top 4 as Samoy's goes out around the outside. That allows the 23, Berbagal, to look up the inside. He immediately gets the spot out of the hairpin.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed with that 23, is how he's able to make all these passes, or make that pass with that damage. But oh, they rub into the corner, and he's going to take that lead right back away from that 31, or from the 23.
It's not done yet. Ooh, as the 23 goes off wide, it's allowed Mitch Weatherly to try to have a look. He's actually not going to be able to do anything. Maybe a delayed dive up the inside. You see Naselli in the 44. He's going to work around the outside of Weatherly to try to get third place away. Can't quite get it done. Samoy's still up in front, but these guys starting to get a little racy here as we're heading close to halfway.
Yeah, and that pit stop, that fuel window is starting to close in with these guys. We're about almost 2 minutes away from halfway to go, and these two have been the class of the field, and that 4 is not really far behind, so maybe if these two get together, that 4 is going to be in the catbird seat.
I definitely think so, and looking to see if yeah, either two of these guys are in behind. Usually you see a lot of times when the pit stops occur, that's really when we start to see the field, at least our leaders, start to spread themselves out, with some guys taking a little bit less fuel. We've all seen that backfire on quite a few people, but if you take less fuel, you can save some time in the pit. Some guys also just more aggressive heading into pit road. Some guys a bit more conservative, but hurting them quite a bit. So we'll see how that plays out. Imagine a few short minutes looking back again at that battle for 5th place that's been going on. Macarabi, Vargas, Arabian, Lynn. As I think a few guys in this group that were there previously have come down to pit road. They've been trying to chase the leaders on down. No bite, though. Though they've been kind of keeping touch with them, but they haven't been making huge inroads.
As Yerny Zoritz went down pit road from 9th place, so he will give up that position, and he's going to complete his pit stop and head off. And looks like, oh no, never mind, it was just my scoring. It looks like, I thought the 31 and 23 came in, but nope. Those two are still your leaders, and at 4 is slowly closing in the gap on
Oh, it's not a car that spun. Was that Duran?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. What happened to him? I see some cars in behind. I'm not sure if they got into him here. We'll see. Oh, okay. No, he didn't hit Zoritz, but I think that compromised his line. Wow, Winner making a great move around to get around Duran. So right on board here quickly with the 10. Change the corner, just offline, no grip, and around he went. And
Yeah.
also take a view of Austin Winter, because he almost narrowly got into that.
He's going to go for the pass here, and so that means he's committed to the inside, and then here comes Zach. Oh, man. That car. Wow. Oh, my God.
Great driving from Winter to keep that car in one piece after damaging it earlier, so he didn't want to get any more damage. He's going to continue on. For Duran, he was trying to look at recover. That's going to hurt him quite a bit back into 33rd, where we can see kind of how much time he lost from that spin.
Yeah, obviously not what he wanted. I mean, he was one of the favorites earlier in the race. I mean, well, he was right behind that 23, and now he's running 33rd behind majority of the field, 31st now. But man, his race turned upside down really quickly. Oh, Rodrigo Duran has crashed.
Oh, he crashed again. Oh, I just wanted to look at some other action going on in the midfield. Trying to see if I could find him. What position is he in? Because I'm looking at a list. Oh, found him.
P33.
Did he crash again, or?
Yeah, he crashed again. He just got a... Oh, he just got a big tap from behind. He hit someone, looks like.
Oh, okay.
Spin, but made major contact with a car in front of him. I'm not sure who that was. Hugh Haycox.
Oh yeah, Hugh Haycock's also another driver that's been struggling quite a bit. He's actually just ahead of Duran, so they haven't quite separated from one another. But again, checking back up with our leaders here, our top four: Berbergal, Simoes, Weatherly, and Nicelli. Still close in line. Ooh, saw some juking and jiving. There you see the 31 back to the inside. These guys have been cutthroat with one another.
Yeah, these two have been battling it out, but I wouldn't count out that 4 and 44. Those two are probably working together to try to get themselves up in this mix and not battling each other to make them lose time. But the more these two battle, it just opens the window more and more for that 4 and 44 to attack.
Team trying to get back at the 23 car here, heading down into the hairpin. These guys starting to get more and more racy. You see that them starting to be less complacent with staying in line and more jogging for position here. Simoes gets a great run out of the hairpin, nowhere to go as you see the 23 go defensive. Into the next corner, Weatherly and Nicelli still sitting in behind. Those guys have been kind of waiting quite a bit. I think they're waiting for the pit stops to finish out.
Yeah, here comes the 31. He's going to go for the overtake here, and he's going to stick his nose out there. 23 can't quite block, but he'll slot himself back in line. That 31's all over. That 23. Oh, my goodness. Wow, that had to be a heart stopper for the leaders.
Trying to see who that was.
Trying to find a name. I can't find one.
And here's a replay of it again.
Whoa. What in the world?
Oh, the 59.
59. That would be Claudio Veselebre. I hope that's correct, but he went off. Oh, the 23 is going to dive down pit road and make his pit stop, and that'll hand the lead over to the 31 with the 4 and 40 or 44 and 4 able to draft up. Oh, they're going to go for the spot or the battle here as the 59 is going to limp his way back down to pit road. Never mind, he's gonna keep going.
Yeah, I was trying to get a replay of it and finally found him down the orders. This is just a look at it. I just want to take. Oh, he took a massive hit to the inside and then watch this. Ooh. Right ahead of the leaders.
Yeah, that 23 probably saw that and he's like, alright, I'm gonna hit pit road. That's enough of that. And there he went. So that's gonna keep the lead over with that 31 car. And
Nicelli down into pit lane, and we mentioned too that already the 10, or not the 10, sorry, Berbergal has come down the pit road in the 23. Mauricio Nicelli going to do much of the same. It's going to be interesting to see the one lap difference if Nicelli is going to pick up time or Berbergal is going to lose time in the traffic. Trying to see where he's running at the moment. He's currently 15th, and you actually see him coming down on the front straightaway already.
Yeah, and back up front, that 31 has opened up quite the gap, the biggest gap I've seen for the lead today. So that 31 is obviously the car to beat, and that 23 is making no wasted time trying to get through these traffic.
Yeah, you can see he was able to get himself ahead of Mauricio Nicelli, pretty much back where they were at square one. Nicelli going to try to chase down Berbergal, going back up to our leaders. Here's there, now entering on the back straightaway. Felix Simoes, you got some lap traffic up ahead. Would you pit now, or do you want to stay out?
I would say it's getting close to that time if he wants to do it. Obviously, I wouldn't do it right now because he has the 4 on the back bumper, so maybe he can try to open up a lead a little bit, as the 4 is actually going to come down pit road. So he's going to undercut the 31, and the 31 is going to be out at least another lap.
I'm been surprised that Felix Simoes is actually still elected to stay out with some lap cars up ahead, but I don't know, maybe he figures he can still work through the lap cars and have some paces. He has a 36 spin in front of him. That's a hard stopper again right there.
Yeah, these leaders have probably been having a harder time getting through this traffic than, getting around each other. Man.
Did a lot of close misses today.
Yeah, and they all spin right to the inside. It's just how the car is. You just spin right to the inside, and that's right in the racing line. It's just really, really crazy that these guys have those really quick reflexes to try to get by those spinning cars.
Taking a look back at Berbagal and Naselli. You see Berbagal right there, Naselli in behind, trying to see where Weatherly ended up. He lost quite a bit of time when he was with Samoys, but he's going to be stuck in traffic trying to get on by. So it's going to be Berbagal pretty much going to hold lead of the race as it stands. Still waiting on Samoys to come down pit road. He's still not coming on down. And, you know, I might be thinking, all right, maybe he might not be knowing what he's doing, but man himself has 2 wins to his name this season so far. So we'll see if he can get his 3rd one here shortly.
The 67 actually isn't letting go of that 31. I mean, I don't think he's running him down, but I don't think he's letting that 31 pull away. So that's 67. Yeah, they're almost. Yeah, he was 7/10 quicker, and the 31 was that lap. I noticed that when I look at the ticker, it was like 4 seconds, and he cut that down to by almost a second.
Yeah, this is, again, I think he's struggling a bit because some ways, you know, you're working through traffic. No matter how quick of a driver you are, that's always going to hold you up just a little bit. And, he got a little bit loose there into the hairpin as he's trying to work his way on through. So with McAreevy catching up, I think what that's telling me is not so much that McAreevy's starting to go quicker, that Samoys is being held up, so he might lose out of the lead here if he's not careful.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't pit at this point. I mean, 13 minutes left. Maybe he's trying to take a gamble and maybe fuel up the car as little as possible to get a little bit of an advantage over everyone else. But at 26 laps, I mean, that's a really long distance to go on that tank.
Yeah, he's starting to stretch it out quite a bit. I think he's really trying to run on as little fuel as possible. The thing is, I'm looking at the pit road delta, at least pit lane, it takes around 24 seconds to go down pit lane here at Tsukuba. And the gap between Samoys and Berbagal, you can see on the screen, Berbagal back in 7th place is about 21 seconds. So Samoys looking to be just about 2 seconds in behind Berbagal once this sorts out. And again, it'll be a little bit different with these guys having to slow down and accelerate back up. So it's going to be not quite exact, but it's going to be definitely very close. I think we're definitely establishing that.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if the 31 takes a little bit less fuel than the 23 will have in his tank. Maybe that's just a strategy, and maybe he'll be able to handle the car. I mean, these cars are already really tough to handle, as we saw with these guys. Once they overcook the braking points, they pretty much lose control of the car. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he's able to attack that 23 once this pit stop happens.
Yeah, 67, he's starting to lose back on time. Looks like some ways with some clean air, starting to push him back a little bit more forward. Gary McAreevy, Juan C. Lin, Neil Orza back and forth. I haven't mentioned him so far, and also Michael Dobek. He didn't actually throw Josh on. All the top 6, they've still yet to come down pit road. And I'm looking there, you can see coming out of turn 1 now, Rafael Berbagal with Dominique Bureau, another driver needs to pit, and then Musu Naselli, who's a bit arm's length away from the 23, hasn't had a chance to make that pass up against who's supposed to be our race leader once the soul cycle's on through.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see how good this 23 car is. I mean, no matter who it is, how many cars behind him, he's able to just pull a bigger and bigger gap over the guys behind him. It's pretty impressive to see him pretty much in such a big class of his own with that 31 and that 10. And, I heard a little bit of an incident.
I think it might have been with Bureau and Naselli. I think Naselli might have given the 108 a little bit of a tap down on the hairpin. You're actually going down into the pits for his pit stop.
Oh, it was Tom Gradwell. He had a little bit of an incident there. Went off track just again. Oh. So he just looped it around and he's going way slower than traffic.
Looking at the replay here, as he's just gonna up and loops it around on the hairpin. You see a bunch of other guys taking a solid amount of evasive action. You see him trying to pull back on, pull back off the track so he can get back going, but struggling a little bit all the way back in 36 for 299 car.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see how much slower. Maybe that just car has so much terminal damage where it's just not able to keep up on the straights. And as you can see, everyone is just flying by him. He didn't make his pit stop here. So with a 67, 31 still hasn't pit.
Yeah, he's trying to run this tank out really close, and again, I'm not too surprised that it's going a little bit further than what we normally see. But typically at the bigger checks, see it go around 10 minutes. Here, it's looking to be going on a little bit longer. And now I'm starting to think, I'll be surprised if they didn't account for this, but I'm starting to think, I'm curious if he's been saving fuel, and maybe feels he can go the distance? I doubt it. He might come in with just about 5 minutes remaining, but I'm just a bit curious to see if that's possible here.
Yeah, maybe he's just... I mean, I've said this already, but he's probably just stretching it out, and maybe the pit stop will be cut down, and maybe that's in the back of his mind. With less fuel taken, he may be able to cut off a second or two, and with that less fuel in that car, he may be able to get that advantage over the 23. With how even they are, I'm not surprised that he's trying this, and he's going to come down pit road with about 9 minutes, 10 minutes left in the race.
Interesting here, watching the gap between Felix Simoes and the gap between himself and Berbagal. Dropping down here now as Berbagal, I think he's working down the back straight here. He's coming out of the hairpin now, looking down the back stretch. There's Vargas to his right. He's going to get on past him. Vargas a lap down, if I'm not mistaken. And now heading down into the final turn is Berbagal. And he's going to be trying to find himself ahead of Simoes, which I think is definitely going to be possible. What I expect to see here, but as he comes out of the final corner, where is Simoes? Ooh, he's accelerating back out. Not going to be the lead, but it didn't lose too much time, much less than I thought. So he's very much still back in the fight, though, with 8 minutes.
Yeah, and that 23 was way better than that 31 was late in the run. I mean, the 31 started to stable out with that 23, but the 23 was just way quicker. And I'm not sure if he took tires or what, but I don't think he'll have that advantage, like as in NASCAR, where you'd have that advantage over the drivers with those fresh tires. But I don't think he's going to have that much of an advantage. Maybe he's just going to try to rely on this car up here to draft up to that 23.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't take tires. Yeah, no, they definitely didn't take tires. I would be amazed if you can change spec. They have the spec race for change tires in 10 seconds. Better than a NASCAR pit crew. But yeah, still looking. These guys still not the leaders just yet. Wansi Lin up in the lead at the moment, still running his tank out as low as possible. Same thing with Emil Orza. Actually, he's just come on down to pit lane, as well as a 37 to Josh Arnold. Those are the last few guys remaining out on the track. And so they will complete their pit cycle. Wansi Lin got to be a bit careful here with those two pitting in. If he's going to run out of gas, that would not bode too well for him after starting in 11th.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised the 44 came out in front of the 31 did. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that the 44 was able to have that good of a pit stop, but he's going to be right on the car around right behind him. Had to be fairly high up in the field. I'm not sure who that was. Jeff Cantor. Oh, never mind then. Came back on track, and he'll get it back rolling, but he spun it right behind the 31 and right in front of that
oh yeah,
4.
We'll be seeing this a lot, this very incident here. The back end is coming around on these slower corners. And he's gonna slowly get back on the track.
Yeah, that corner seems to be a trouble spot with how these drivers want to commit to that corner. Sometimes they overcommit and they try to save the car, and it just doesn't get, they can't catch it.
Yeah, looking back at Florence Arabian, Gary McAreevy, and also Austin Winter. Remember, had an incident early on in the race. He came down to pit road and serviced his car. He's back out in 8th place now, looking at trying to get 6th with the 2 guys up ahead.
Yeah, that old 33 is trying to get that advantage from these two battling. He'll try to make it a 3-horse battle for that 6th spot.
Both these guys side by side down into the hairpin. You can see the 67 on the outside. Winner trying to gas up to get alongside. Can't quite get that done. Arabian going to clear him by the next corner and take 6th place away. Definitely doubt that battle is going to be done with as we go back up to the top here. Musu Naselli now. He's got Berbagal Alt himself here. He's got some ways just second in behind, so third one's definitely going to keep him on it. He can't completely go at it just yet. They can't afford to lose too much time, but he's got nothing else holding him up now.
Yeah, and that 31 is probably hoping that 44 gets up to the 23 so he can get a little bit of a battle going so he can reel him in, because obviously when these two battle, less runoff means you know, the 31 will have that opportunity to reel him in, as the 30 of Wansi Lin has made his pit stop.
He's finally coming down, surrendering of the lead. He's going to come back out in 9th place. So still, he's actually going to come out in the midst of this battle. He was, remember, running up in this pack earlier. He's a little bit behind them, but definitely has a shot here, especially these guys getting to each other, which I have a dirty feeling. You see the 67 puff of brake smoke as he was locking up the, puff of tire smoke as he locked the tires up, heading to the hairpin. Winner now side by side, gonna pinch him to the apex.
Yeah, Winner played his cards correctly there. He just let those two battle it out, and then that caused him to be able to close up, and the 67 made a mistake, and he was able to get that spot away.
Oh, and which Weatherly, I think something happened to him. He's right ahead of these drivers, and they're hounding him. Oh, the 67 gonna tap Weatherly, and he goes around.
Yeah, he'll get it back going. He's going to lose a few spots here, fall just outside the top 10 there, but at 67, going to fall to 13th, maybe 14th, perhaps 15th. Yeah, he's going to drop all the way to, from, I believe, 6th place to all the way down to 15th place. So obviously there's going to probably be some sort of a post-race frustration there, but this battle is still not calming down with that 65 making that dive on that 042.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on this at the moment. Nothing really to report on for the leaders. These guys definitely are starting to get a little bit hot under the helmet here as they're trying to go for every spot they can with the last few minutes of this race. All in behind Austin Winter is all a battle for 4th, with from pretty much the top, from 4th back to around 7th or 8th place.
Yeah, so 33 is trying to check away from that 65, but that 65 isn't really letting him get away. So it's just if you're Austin, you're probably really frustrated. That 65 is going to try to throw as much of a haymaker as he can into that corner, and these are just last-ditched opportunities here for him to try to get that 5th place away or 4th place away.
Yeah, and I actually saw him throwing the hairpin there. I thought he was going to loop it around, but still all right here with just about 3 minutes remaining. The race really starting to wrap up now. Back up to the front here. 3/10 of a second here between our leaders. It's Naselli. He's starting to push now. I think he feels now it's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably before that, but that 44 is, he's all over him. He spent that time trying to reel him in, and now he can apply that pressure and try to get that 23 to make a mistake. As looks like he's running a little bit wider than this 44, as it really shows how aggressive this 44 is taking these corners.
And if you're in a Naselli's position, is it, you know, do you want to wait till this straightaway here, or do you want to try to get the pass done elsewhere on the track?
Yeah, it makes you wonder if you should take a corner wide and try to get this long run down the straightaway. Probably have enough time for maybe 2 or 3 more laps, so you can probably try that next lap. But that 31 is falling a little bit further behind, so I'm pretty sure the without incident, this 31 is going to become a 2-horse battle between the 23 and 44.
Yeah, Samoy's pretty much out of it, unless, as you're saying, these guys get together. So come across the line, should be just about 3 laps to go, and I do mean just. I think we're only going to get the white flag. These guys are going to come to take the white flag with just a few seconds left on the clock, so I think for Naselli that's going to be a plus. He gets an extra lap to attempt something on Berbergal. For Berbergal is going to wish that this race was just a lap shorter, but he can't back off to bring the amount of laps down because he's got his competitor right in behind him. So as we go shift back to the battle we were looking at before for 4th place, they're actually starting to separate out just a little bit. Winner, Vargas, Arabian, Lynn in their massive spat for position. Looking also at our Spec 2 leader, Greg Safani, in the 750 car, sorry. Gary McAreevy trying to get his way on by, but can't quite get it done. He's back in 14th now, trying to look up some more spots after his mistake.
Yeah, he's just trying to get all he can. I mean, top 10 would probably be a win for him after that incident, but I just think it's a little too far out of reach. I mean, he has about maybe 5 or 6 seconds to pull up on that 34 of Haycox. So it's going to be really interesting to see if he can try to make a last. That's not going to happen with only about 2 laps left in the race, but it's going to be interesting to see how that battle plays out as that 67's in the class of his own. As this battle for the lead is about to come winding down, that 44 is going to make a last charge at it.
Yeah, he's only got pretty much a lap and a half left to go here. They are going to have one more lap. Again, just as Berbergal's trying to hold off the 44. What do you think he can do? You know, you typically say the guy leading down a straightaway like this, you see Naselli get really close to his back bumper. What can you do down this straightaway?
Probably just try to get as big of a run as he can and just try to stick it down there into the corner, or maybe try to get alongside of him prior to the straightaway and get that run off to try to maybe be side by side into this corner. As if you can pinch them down, you can make the pass happen. It's just really hard to do.
And here we go as they come across the line. White flag in the air for these drivers. They got one lap left in the race. Nicelli, that's one more lap, and he has a shot of trying to get this 23. Here, see if he's going to start getting more aggressive here with this white flag in the air to try to get this spot. He's so close to getting the win.
Yeah, that 44 is trying to push as hard as he can. That 23 is taking the defensive line, trying to make sure that 44 can't get that nose in, and that lap traffic's going to let him by, so no problem there. But that 44 is going to make a big charge into this section of the track. He's really good in this area, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a dive bomb going into this corner.
Yeah, he's got to set up this hairpin perfectly here. It's the run down the street. You see him taking a wide entry. Got to cut it down hard on the exit. He's going to have a bit of a run here. He'll see if it's enough. Down the back straight away they go. Trying to get the run on the 23. Doesn't quite seem to be enough. And Berbergal here is just going to hope that Mauricio Nicelli doesn't stay in the Hail Mary. You see him go defensive. Nicelli trying to swing out, make him second guess, but it's not going to be enough. Nicelli going to go wide in the corner, but Berbergal going to come out first out of the final corner, and he will win here at Tsukuba in the 23 car. Nicelli going to have to settle for second place. Samoy's back in third, checking on back with fourth place winner. He's going to come on through, no contest for that spot. Vargas and Arabian nose to tail here as they come across the line, and it looks like it's going to be Vargas ahead of Arabian, but barely a car length. You see Arabian trying to cut back down, not enough for him. Wan Chi Lin going to come home in 7th place, Emil Orsa in 8th, just ahead of some other drivers. Samuel Dick in 9th, and Hugh Haycock's going to recover back to 10th. We saw him in a few incidents, so this is a great recovery drive for that 34 machine.
Yeah, and with that 44 in those last few laps, it just shows how little power these cars have and how difficult it is to make those last ditch passes. As that 41 is going to weave through there, no problem there. But absolutely incredible win for that 23 after losing his teammate early on in that run, and very impressive. And he was able to outclass the field. And that 31 of Felix Samo is also really quick. He just didn't have that track position he needed to try to make a little bit of a battle there for the 23.
Here, and we'll bring up our race results here just shortly. I think we're waiting on a few drivers to come across the line. I think actually probably everyone should be across the line. So we'll take a look at your race results here. Here's your top 10 on screen. You can see right there again, Rafael Berbergal, your race winner, and then looking on back for some other notes, but we went through all those drivers. But with that, it was a pretty solid race, especially up there for the front. But again, Nicelli just not enough to get that win in. I want to actually also give a quick word for our sponsor. I forgot to do this early in the race, ran out of time, but do it now. I'll give a little bit of a shout out to them, and you definitely check them out for us. It's 42 Stitches that you should check out, and whether it's that one piece for that special gift or 1,000 make your organization stand out, 42 Stitches has got you covered. Custom embroidery and heat transfer on a wide variety of items, shirts, hats, jackets, even flame retardant applications where safety is a concern. Check us out at 42stitches.com and shoot us an email at info@42stitches.com to get your project started. Again, thanks for them for supporting this series and also these broadcast series. You see the backstretch melee going on for these guys. That's been typical in the last few weeks. But with that, we're going to come to a quick commercial break here. We'll be right back shortly with your race winner and more for interviews. Welcome back. We're live back here at Tsukuba with your third place finisher, Felix Samois. Felix, you were so close to getting a win here. We saw you were leading the race for quite a bit in the middle section of the race, but unfortunately didn't quite go your way.
No, yeah, unfortunately it did not. It's always a gamble. I mean, it's better to handle the back markers or go pit early and then be in the middle of the pack. I tried to pit as late as possible because I figured maybe I'll get lucky with the back markers, but it did not happen. I was faster before the stop, and I think it has to do with damage on Raphael's car and also on the Maurizio because they had almost a crash in the beginning with Mitch, pushed them out. And yeah, man, it didn't went out as I expected, but it was good anyways. Place it was fun.
Yeah, and also we noticed too that you had a quite a different approach to pitting in comparison to the drivers, at least the top four, the top four you were driving with in the middle part of the race. Do you feel like you may have stayed out too long, or do you think you pull the right call out from your perspective?
Yeah, and because I was first before the stops, and after that I was third. I guess I might not have chosen the correct strategy, but I mean, I think even if I would have stopped with the other guys around about the same time, with their cars fixed, they would be faster than me anyways. So yeah, I think in the end it would not have mattered that much.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, Felix, it wasn't a win, but still another solid podium to your name, and can't wait to see you next week when we head to the Nürburgring, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun.
That's terrifying. I'm not an expert on that track. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for you, Felix. Thanks for talking with us.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, and next on board we got Austin Winter here shortly. And Austin, thanks for being here with us. You had a fantastic drive up the order, especially considering what happened to you early in the race.
Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, it had to be a drive up through the order because of that incident at the beginning of the race, and that incident was 100% my own fault. I just need to be more defensive.
Yeah, I know. Looking at that incident, I know obviously you're able to drive back up to fourth place. But do you think had that not happened, do you think you could have probably gotten your first win of the season?
It's always kind of a roll of the dice when you're up there at the front. I think they would probably had a little bit of pace on me, but just need one mistake and then get in front. It's impossible to pass on this track.
Yeah, and so looking at obviously you've been so close to getting that win. In fact, it's your third podium of the season. Looking at the rest of the races we have lined up, we got the Nürburgring, the Watkins Glen, and then the Phoenix Road Course. Any of those three races you feel like you have your best shot at getting that elusive victory this season?
Definitely not the ring, but maybe Watkins Glen. Back in the day on the old tire model, I used to really love that place, but we'll see how it works now. I used to be able to jump the curbs pretty well on the old tire model. The new tire model does that pretty well by itself without having to do anything fancy, so maybe my advantage is left.
And with that, Austin, thanks for talking to us. Hopefully you get a few more chances to talk to us for the rest of the season, especially after that great drive.
All right, thank you.
And with that, we'll go on to our next driver interview. That'll be Greg Stefani, our Spec 2 race winner and also points leader. And Greg, you've been picking him up, putting him down these last few weeks. You're again highest to the Spec 2 drivers. Walk us through, especially your race from your perspective, being pretty much, I wouldn't say stuck in the midfield, but you're definitely surrounded by quite a few drivers throughout the race.
Yeah, I think some cars moved around me a bit, but yeah, it was just a bit of a cage fight up in there.
Yeah, did you find, especially, how did you find, the mix, again, with this track being so tight, how did you find, the mix of driving, with drivers on the lead lap, the guys you're fighting for position with, and also trying to get past lap cars?
In general, it was really respectful out there. I think I only had one kind of incident with a lapped car, and I bumped you pretty early on, which, I apologize for that. And at some point, a couple laps later, I was able to give the spot back. But no, overall, really, really respectful, clean driving, just really, really tight.
Yeah, and figure another solid finish for you, and curious to hear your opinion on the Nürburgring going to next week.
I'm gonna be watching the Indy 500. I won't be there.
Oh, you won't? Okay, that's unfortunate. Well, I hope you enjoy watching the race, and hope also be looking forward to seeing you back at Watkins Glen then.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing that race after the 500's done. Thanks, guys.
All right, and with that, that'll wrap up interviews here from Tsukuba. Liam, any closing remarks from you?
This is just such a great battle for the lead there, and how those two were able to have a little bit of a fight there at the end. The 44 was running, I think, fourth before those pit stops, and he was able to claw his way to second and had a shot at the win there. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe this 31 knows now to not go for that really long strategy. I mean, he had a really good strategy there. I just think he pushes it a little too long, and that cost him the race there. But overall, I mean, this race is a really exciting race to watch, and hope to do more.
Yeah, indeed. And looking at the rest of the order there, you see Rodrigo Duran. He was able to climb back. I didn't mention he climbed back up into 11th after his woes earlier on. So it was a decent. It was just outside the top 10 for Duran, especially looking at a race one might be disappointed with that. Arturo we saw was involved in something else as well, or if not, just by himself back in 15th. It was Yerny Zortz who's also, he got spun around. He's fallen all the way back to 19th, but I'll try to quickly page through the rest of here because there's a lot of drivers to work through. But for this race, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. And again, next week, as we mentioned, we head from, ironically, we head from the smallest track on the schedule to the largest track by quite a bit. Head to the Nordschleife at the Nürburgring next week, and that's going to be a fantastic race to watch. If not for the racing, just seeing these guys go around the Nürburgring, which essentially is going to take them, I think, 4 laps. The rest of a 40-minute race, which is bizarre considering it took them 38 here. So if you're definitely interested in just watching cars go flying around the Nürburgring on SYM TV, definitely check that out. As far as what's coming up on the schedule for SYM TV, you have a doubleheader again tomorrow night between Erska. They're heading to Talladega, and also we'll have coverage from Freewide at Daytona for the season opener for their season and the 87 Cup cars. But with that, my name is Finity Kuna here with Liam Sheen for the Weekend Warriors broadcast, and we're going to be signing out for now. Thank you for watching.